and how are you doing? It's Mr. Mo, and it must be time for Mr. Mo's story time. We're going to read a slightly different book today, and we're going to take a look at this place that we live called Planet Earth. The book's by Peter Murray. What is Earth? Earth is a planet. It circles around the sun once every year. If you were looking at Earth from high above, you would see a blue, brown, and green planet covered with wisps of white. The blue patches are oceans. The brown and green patches are huge land areas called continents. The wisps of white are swirling clouds. There are 8 other planets circling the sun, but only Earth has air you can breathe, water you can swim in, and trees you can climb. It is the only planet where you can live without a spacesuit. Areas like this mountain lake in Canada can only be found on Earth. Earth's atmosphere. Earth is surrounded by a blanket of gases called the atmosphere. The air we breathe lies near the planet's surface. Other layers of gas continue upwards for over 600 miles. Beyond Earth's atmosphere is the cold darkness of space. The sun lights up high clouds that are floating near the Earth's atmosphere. From space, Earth's atmosphere looks like a thin film. It doesn't seem as if it would be very important. Yet without the atmosphere, Earth would be a cold, lifeless rock. Earth's atmosphere traps and holds heat from the sun. It protects Earth from the icy cold of space. 20 miles above the planet, a special layer of gases called the ozone layer protects us from the sun's powerful energy. This energy is called solar radiation. Solar radiation can be harmful in large amounts. Sometimes, clouds near the Earth's atmosphere look like giant swirls. Earth's atmosphere also brings water to every part of the planet. When a puddle dries up, the water doesn't just disappear. Instead, it turns into a gas called water vapor. Water vapor rises into the air and is blown about by the wind. Often, water vapor gathers into tiny droplets of water. When the drops get big enough, the water falls as rain or snow. This cloud is bringing much needed rain to the land. The oceans. The oceans of Earth, the Atlantic, Pacific, Indian, and Arctic, are really one huge sea that is always moving. The heat of the sun warms the water during the day. The water cools again at night. This constant change in temperature causes winds and storms. This heating and cooling also makes the water in the oceans flow from one place to another. These water flows are called currents. Even the moon causes the sea to move. All planets and moons have a force called gravity that pulls things toward them. The pull of the moon makes the sea level rise and fall. This is called the tide. Ocean waves like these are caused by many things. Water shapes Earth. Water moves consistently between the oceans and the land. Water vapor rises from the oceans and forms clouds. Then it falls as rain or snow upon the continents. The water then drains into rivers and eventually flows back to the ocean. As the water flows over the land, it slowly wears it away. Most rivers cut shallow riverbeds as they flow. Others carve deep into the land, forming steep valleys called canyons. Scientists think it took 6 million years for the Colorado River to form the Grand Canyon in Arizona. The beautiful Grand Canyon is still being formed by the Colorado River. Glaciers. Water shapes Earth in other ways too. In some parts of the world, the temperature is always below freezing. In these areas, snow and ice have piled up for millions of years. In some places, the ice is 2 miles deep. This thick sheet of ice does not sit well. It flows slowly downhill, just as rivers do. These rivers of ice, called glaciers, scrape away the land beneath them. Glaciers cover some of Earth's highest mountains. Hundreds of glaciers carve the mountain's tall slopes. When the glaciers melt, they leave huge U-shaped valleys behind. This glacier in Alaska is slowly changing the land. Inside Earth. The center of Earth is not as solid as you might think. It is made of hot, melted metals and rock called magma. This hot center is covered by a shell of hard, cool rock called the crust. Earth's crust is always moving. However, it usually moves too slowly for us to notice. A section of crust might move only a few feet in hundreds of years. Sometimes, though, we can feel a more sudden movement. A big enough movement causes an earthquake. The San Andreas Fault is one of the most famous cracks in the Earth's crust. Volcanoes. Sometimes the hot magma bursts through the Earth's crust and forms a volcano. When volcanoes erupt on land, they grow into mountains. Volcanoes that erupt under the ocean form mountains too. Sometimes these underwater mountains grow high enough to break the water's surface. Then they become islands. The Hawaiian Islands were formed by volcanoes. Over time, this underwater volcano in Oregon became an island. Life on Earth. Earth is special because it is the only planet known to support life. Life exists in the deepest seas, in the driest deserts, and even on the coldest Arctic ice. Living creatures shape our planet in many ways. Sea creatures, called coral, grow in giant colonies. Sometimes the colonies become large enough to form islands. On prairies, grasses keep the wind from blowing the soil away. In other areas, trees and bushes keep the rain from washing away the land. Without life, Earth would be nothing but rock and water. Coral, like these, grow in colonies in the ocean. Dangers to Earth. Some of the biggest changes on Earth have been caused by people. We have built great cities, cut down trees, made new lakes, and turned deserts into farmland. We have shaped Earth to make it easier for us to live. Sadly, many of our actions are hurting the planet. Factories, garbage dumps, and oil spills pollute the Earth each day. To make room for more farmland, people are burning forests. We are even destroying the important ozone layer that protects us from the sun's radiation. This stump is all that is left after loggers have cleared a forest area. of all the creatures on Earth. Only humans have the power to save or to destroy our comfortable home. We are learning that things we do to the air, the land, and the water can affect our entire world. If we learn to make the right choices and take care of our planet today, Earth will be a pleasant place to live for a long time to come. The sun lights up Earth's oceans. The end. Well, I hope you learned something about this little blue planet that we live on and how we can possibly try and save it. Ask Mom and Dad how we can try and take care of it. I'll be back with another story a little bit later. But for right now, I am Mr. Mo, and this was Mr. Mo's Story Time. I'll see you next time.